Hello and welcome. Chris from Missouri here, bringing you another video about vintage baseball cards. In this video, I'm going to show you some cards. I'm going to show you some cards that I was gifted. I'm going to show you some cards that I just got back from SGC. And then I'm going to pose a question and talk to you a little bit about a problem that I'm having with VCP and see if some of you are having the same problems. But first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple cards that I was given by my foreman Mauricio. Now, you've heard me talk about Mauricio on my channel before. He sets up with me at card shows. We go to card shows together, and he also sets up with me and kind of keeps an eye on things when I go walking around looking at other cards. So let me turn this around and show you a couple cards. So we sent some cards off with Billy Ballgame to get graded. Mauricio did, I did, and Andy, a foreman of mine, and Billy. And these cards got back. And Mauricio knows that I'm a Salvador Perez fan. And he was kind enough to just give me this card right here. And then he's a big Yankee fan and not a huge Royals fan, but he also gave me this SGC 9 Bobby Witt, and that's just a beautiful card, and I just love it. Love those cards. So Mauricio did well getting his cards back graded. He got a handful of 10s and 9.5s, and these were, these two cards were great. And my other foreman Andy, he'd been collecting for a long time and just first started grading some of his cards, and I think he likes the way they look in those holders, and it was fun sending off cards with them. So the cards I got back are not near as nice as what Mauricio's are and the ones he gave me here. But what these cards did, the reason I sent them off is I went through my little white boxes and I'm finishing off player runs. If I'm doing a showcase showdown every other week or so with Mike of Baseball Collector, and we're having a great time. But I'm trying to finish some of these runs, so I'm going through my boxes searching for cards that I don't have graded, and I'm sending them off. And they're costing me $16 to get them graded, but the cards really aren't costing me anything at all, and it's fun trying to finish up some of these runs. So first, let me show you. The first card, Willie Stargell. Why don't I turn this around? Willie Stargell. Now that's 1972, and it's a low grade, but man, who cares? Look how pretty that card is. I love the 72 cards. Now Mike and I, we do that showcase showdown, and we try to do all their playing days cards from their newest to oldest, and it's fun because it's also making me finish these runs up. Here's a 1974 Willie Stargell. Now, I don't want that wheel that we're spinning on this contest to land on Willie Stargell just yet because I'm not finished. But now this is an SGC 1, so there's something in there somewhere. But, man, it's my one. I love it. They're going to look really nice side by side when I'm all finished. And then the 1980 Topps Willie Stargell in an SGC 9. So the next person that I got back a couple cards from that I'm working on his player run, and man, he's not represented real well in my collection yet, but it's one of the best left-handed pitchers of all time, Steve Carlton. Now, pardon the glare on this. I'm trying to do this as fast as I possibly can. Another Steve Carlton that I got. Right there. The 73. Now, another one that I'm working on, getting closer and closer, is Rod Carew. That's 1975 Rod Carew right there with that all-star. It looks pretty right there. And a 1974 Rod Carew. Now, Mike's probably hoping these land on the wheel so he can catch me without the cards. but I'm turning them in as soon as I find them through those boxes. Here's the 68 Willie McCovey. So those cards I just got back from SGC, and they're going to go on my player runs, and I really, really like it, and I like those cards that Mauricio gave me. My question that I want to ask you, so VCP, do you guys have what's some of your problems you might have with VCP if you're there? I love it. I mean, I'm not mad at VCP. I wish there's some things that could do better, but compared to how I used to do things, it just makes my life easier when I try to look at values. I recently did a top 50 showing of my top 50 most valuable cards in my collection, or best cards in my collection. And I know these two probably weren't in the top 50, but as I was doing my inventory and looking through the values of some of my cards, and this card is a 1932 Wheaties flip book of Babe Ruth. Now it's all crooked in there and everything, but it does not show a value. Even if I type in SGC or PSA, it doesn't show a value for this 1932 Wheaties flip card. Now I know it has to have some kind of value, but it shows it's worth $0. Now another one that I know has some value to it is the 1927 York Caramel Rogers Hornsby in a Type 1. Now, this has some value, but I believe since some hasn't been sold in that kind of grade, it shows a zero value. So when I list my top 100 cards or top whatever, I need to be careful when I'm making a top 50 most valuable thing, or if I'm looking to sell it, I need to go through some other kind of resource other than VCP. And if they're not in VCP, they probably haven't been sold on eBay in a long time. If you guys are having some kind of problems like that, and you might do something different or use something different, feel free to put something in my comment, and you can tell me that I'm being a baby or whatever. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But it's we just turned the first of the year, and it's just early January, and I'm looking forward to doing more and more of these videos. So guys, remember, it's just a hobby. Collect what you like.